All right, so today I'm going to be solving a problem from GreatFrontEnd.com. It's a platform I've been using for quite some time now. Bought a license, and it's been really great. They have a lot of interesting, interview questions, though you could see them as normal problems as well, obviously. And they have like really good description. They force you to think about the edge cases, which is also like something important to keep in mind when you're solving these kinds of problems. And they have just like a solid in-browser editor. It's based on Monaco, so based on Visual Studio Code, which means you can also use some of the shortcuts or most of the shortcuts that you would also use in Visual Studio Code. So if that's your editor, that's definitely a bonus. Um, Focuses on JavaScript, TypeScript, and Angular, React, some of the frameworks, though mostly on JavaScript, TypeScript. And today I'm going to try to solve something from the Blind 75 collection, which is basically a collection of questions that revolve around data structures and algorithms. So I'm just going to open this up. I already did some of them, but today I had my eye on this string palindrome question. And so, yeah, the title basically describes the problem. I think you're given a string, and we need to write a function that will return true if the string is palindrome and false if it's not. Additional requirements include that we also need to make sure that any non alphanumeric characters, so that's written here, all non alphanumeric characters need to be discarded, meaning, we just don't need to take those into account. We just need to take the string into account. Um, and we'll also need to ignore any case, so we can transfer it all from or transform every letter to lowercase. So that's basically the problem. um, so trying to reason about how we're going to solve this, and I think first we need to sanitize the string. So we'll need to remove all the non-alphanumeric characters. So I think we'll replace every non-alphanumeric character with a empty string. So if we have a space or a dash or anything which is not equal to a number or a letter, then we're going to replace that with an empty string. Then afterwards, the string that we get, that sanitized string, if you can call it that, we're going to convert that to lowercase. So that's just to lowercase in JavaScript. And then with that string, we're going to check if the first character is equal to the last character. If so, we're going to remove the first and the last character, and we're going to check the same thing again for the string that remains. And we're going to do that as long as the length of that string is greater than 1. When the string is 1 or 0, the length of the string is 1 or 0, then we know that we have a palindrome, since at that point we know that every character we've had, or every for the string we've had, every time the first character was equal to the last one. And yeah, that's the definition of a palindrome. So basically, first we're going to replace all the non-alphanumeric characters with an empty string. This is the easiest way to do this is using regex. I'm not I always have to always stagger a bit when I need to use regex. I usually do regex 101, I think it's called. Yeah, so this one. And we're obviously going to do that in JavaScript. So this is PHP. So this is JavaScript. So here you have some like quick references, which makes it a bit easier. I could have also like asked or tried to solve this with AI, but I decided that I wanted to, yeah, like postpone AI as much as possible while doing these questions on Great Frontend. So I'm not going to use it right now. So here you have some common tokens, and we can see like, okay, we have a character in the range A to Z that's described with between brackets A to Z. Um, Here as well, you have the capital version. So if you have this, right? So this means that now this is matched by, right? This matches. Um, but if we add any like, uh, oh, okay, so we need to add this global modifier. Is that it? Wait, just a sec. Okay, so this is matching for all those characters, and I also want to add 0 to 9. So, yeah, this is matching A to Z, lowercase, A to Z, uppercase, and then 0 to 9 as the characters. And then, yeah, that I do know is you can negate your, you can negate everything that comes after the caret. So just do this and see if we start typing like so all the, yeah, all the non-alphanumeric characters that I type here are being matched. So I can probably use this as a regular expression for using string.replace. So I'm just gonna look up string replace JavaScript. Okay, so this replace method returns a string, new string with a new one. Okay. So the pattern and then the replacement. The pattern can be a regular expression. All right, great. Let's have a look. Yes. Okay. So I can add two arguments to replace, meaning the first will be the regular expression, and then the second will be what I want to replace it with, which is an empty string in our case. So it's going to open run.js. And let's do I have my regex here. Let's use this and then replace it with an empty string. So what's wrong here? Syntax unexpected token. So I need to use this. So that's unterminated. Okay, and let's now add some characters into this. Okay, so now if I do this, then it only replaces the first non-alphanumeric character. So if I wanted to replace all the non-alphanumeric characters, then I probably need to add this global modifier here, +/g. So +/g. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So I'll try to add some more like non-alphanumeric characters, see what that gives. I'll also add some numbers in, and maybe at the end do some uppercase letters. All right, so that seems to work. So this is how I can get the string, or how I can replace the string with that, or replace the non-alphanumeric characters in the string with just an empty string. Okay, so I'm going to copy this over. And get back to GreatFrontEnds. So const sanitized string is string.replace. And I'll say like this, right? And then, so after I sanitize it, so lowercase sanitized string. I also always think yes, it's too lowercase with a capital C. All right, so I have this lowercase sanitized string. So now what I want to do is and I'll make this let so I can actually update it. And I'll say while lowercase sanitized string dot length is bigger than 1. We're going to set lowercase sanitized string to first we're going to check if lowercase sanitized string, the first character, is equal to the last character, and I can get the last character by doing at -1. Same with an array. So if the first character equals the last character, then I'm going to set lowercase sanitized string to be lowercase sanitized string dot slice, and I'm going to say 1 minus 1. So that means I'm going to replace that lowercase sanitized string with, or I'm just going to cut off the first and the last character. And then if that's not the case, if the first character and the last are not the same, then it's not a palindrome, right? And so I'm going to do while lowercase sanitized string dot length is bigger than 1. And if that condition is actually cut off while it being equal to or less than 1, and we haven't returned false yet, then it's true. We're going to check if that works. All right, so I made a silly mistake here, which is I'm always returning false when you're checking if the first element of the string is equal to the last one, because I didn't put it in an else statement. So if I change this and put this in an else statement, then I think, let's just run this. Yeah, that should probably solve it. So now we're checking if the first element in the string is equal to the last one. If they are, then we know that we can continue, and we just remove the first and the last element, and then we can check, um, like for that new string where the first and last element were removed, we can do the same again. And if they're not equal, then we know that it's not a palindrome. And if at some point we reach a string where the length is 1 or 0, then we also know that we have a palindrome, because at that point, yeah, we've checked everything, and both sides of the string are they're reversed, let's say. If you take an example, like for example, kayak, right? So then first we're going to go to check is k equal to k. Yes. And then we get aya. So then is a equal to a. Yes. And then the string is of length 1. So return true. And we know that kayak is a palindrome. That's basically how it works. I'm also always like replacing this whole string. It's probably not necessary. We can just go through the indexes without having to replace the string as a whole. So that's probably not the most optimal solution here. Something I could still improve on. But I guess for this scenario, that's good enough. I could change that, but I'm not going to. So I'll run this again and then submit it. And woohoo, we completed the question. So one step closer, I guess, to getting my refund back via the promotion of doing a review of GreatFrontEnd. But like I said, it's a great platform. The in-browser editor is really good. So it's a good experience. They write a lot of tests for all of the samples that they have, for all of the interview questions that they have. They also have a lot of examples. Like I said, they force you to think about the edge cases, and they describe the constraints really well. So it's a really enjoyable, nice platform to use. And I'm really looking forward to do another couple of these questions on Great Frontend. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.